So I'm standing here at Great Dixter on a really beautiful sunny morning, looking back at the southwest corner of the house. I love the house from here. It's quite different here than from every other angle, showing different ages of the building. One section there, 1460, another about 1910, and another section in the late 1500s, accumulated over time. But I'm really interested in looking at this recently cut meadow. There are no flowers to be seen here because of its recent cut. It was long and shaggy until just a couple of weeks ago. But I think it's a really interesting case in point, or an interesting illustration of the way our desires have changed over time. This used to be just a lawn, the topiary lawn, for about 100 years. It was just lawn. But about 20 or so years ago, Fergus Garrett and Christopher Lloyd decided to let it go to meadow. And they introduced yellow rattle, a plant that is parasitic on the grasses and therefore reduces the vigour of the grasses and favours the broadleaf species that then produce flowers. But what I love here is there's a little path running down the middle, as you can see here, that indicates what happens when you mow regularly, because this is always mown, even when this is meadow, when it's all in bloom, which is now some months ago that it was all fully in bloom. This little path is mown, and you can see the consistency of the grass there. And this is what happens with frequent mowing, is that you get grass species rather than broadleaf species. But immediately either side, you can just see how many different broadleaves there are in there. Some of the things you would call weeds, but a lot of it is flowering stuff. And there are thousands and thousands of orchids in here as well, flowering back in May and June, now cut. But I just love the fact that once upon a time, as a gardener, this would have been, this kind of texture was your measure of your quality as a gardener, and this would have been considered an absolute fail. Whereas now, in this era of meadows and of a celebration of flowering grassland and of biodiversity, really, then this kind of effect with the least grass in there possible is actually what a place like this is really targeting and hoping for.